Let's bring in Republican strategist Matt Klink now. And I'll apologize ahead of time. Once the opening remarks from Mr. Smith start, we'll listen to that. But to Joe's point that Jack Smith already testified to this same committee behind closed doors, but wanted that his remarks to be made public. Why weren't they made public? And why is he pushing so hard, do you think, now for everyone to hear what he has to say?
Well, there's a certain amount of candor that can be had behind closed doors, Marnie. But I do think that, a couple things are true here. One is that Jack Smith realizes that his reputation is on the line. He has largely been slammed by Republicans across the board. He wants to try to show himself to be a thoughtful prosecutor. But also the reality here is that the Republicans and the Democrats both see some partisan advantage for having this hearing and making it public. I got to tell you, though, this is a total inside the Beltway hearing that most of the people around the United States are not waking up today saying, oh, my gosh, Jack Smith's testifying. I've got to watch it.
Yeah, I do think a lot of people are talking about Greenland. They're certainly talking about this gigantic winter storm that's going to wallop most of the nation and put us in freezing temperatures. It's going to get pretty icy, though, I think, inside this hearing. President Trump has repeatedly called for Smith to be prosecuted, calling him things like deranged. How does today's testimony impact that?
Well, look, I think that, Jim Jordan is no shrinking violet. He is going to hammer in on a lot of the things that the Republicans have been accusing not only Jack Smith of, but frankly, the Biden and Justice administration of: political bias and the weaponization of government, the investigative tactics where they surreptitiously surveilled Republican senators and members of the House. It is ironic that they did this under Joe Biden and under Barack Obama. The CIA surveilled members of the Senate Intelligence Committee. So clearly the Democrats had a problem recently with using the apparatus of government to surveil their opponents. And then also Jack Smith, let's not forget, he put a gag order on, or tried to put a gag order on Donald Trump during the heart of a political campaign, which leads to the logical conclusion that his prosecution was politically motivated against the president. All that's going to come out today, and the Democrats are going to say that, oh, this was a righteous prosecution. But again, I think that both sides are going to take something from this that they believe will help them.
In the legal sphere of all of this, Matt, does the Justice Department move forward with efforts to prosecute him, or is this a wait and see?
I think it's a wait and see. I think if Donald Trump had his preference, he would prefer that they did. But I also think that, look, my knowledge of the U.S. Attorney's Office is that they value their win-loss record. So if there's a legitimate case there, it will be brought. And if it's not, I would expect that, that Jack Smith will slide by. I will add, though, that, don't forget that Jack Smith was the prosecutor for Governor McDonnell in Virginia, and that case was overturned 8-0 by the United States Supreme Court. So he has a reputation for being an overzealous prosecutor. So there's a lot where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot here for both sides to play up today.
Final question for you, Matt. The potential of this testimony to influence the midterms throughout the next few months?
Highly unlikely. Yeah. If you think that that the Trump administration and Republicans are trying to sweep January 6th under the rug, then you're already going to vote for any Democrat that's on the ballot. And if you're a Republican, you think that Jack Smith is evil incarnate and he filed down his horns to go into court. So no, it's going to change no one's mind. This is pure red meat politics today.
All right, Matt Klink, appreciate the conversation, sir. Thank you so much this morning. Let's listen in here to the hearing as things get started.